Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. I am honestly so incredibly excited you're here. Look, today I am fully stepping into the role of your highly organized older sister. We're going to talk about something literally so many of us go through, but almost nobody openly discusses. We are decoding the mystery of spotting. Our bodies are an incredible amana, a precious trust, and understanding how they actually work is step one in caring for them. Trust me, what we're getting into today is going to put so many of your anxieties completely to rest. Okay, so picture this. You're just going about your perfectly normal day. Maybe you're rushing to get out the door, or, you're just finishing up your wudu, getting all perfectly prepped for your prayers. You go to the bathroom and bam, a completely random spot of blood, just out of nowhere. And your brain instantly goes into overdrive, right? Like, do I need to redo everything? Am I sick? Is my cycle starting 2 weeks early? What is happening? We have absolutely all been there. It is so incredibly frustrating and instantly stressful. But before you spiral into a total panic, let's just take your breath and look at the facts.
All right, let's dive into this. First off, we need to establish exactly what we're looking at here. Spotting is very light bleeding. It could be pink, it could be brown, or it could be red. The defining feature is that it's so light you don't even need a heavy pad or a tampon, you usually just notice it when you wipe. Medically, we actually call this intermenstrual bleeding. Now, it is absolutely vital to separate this from your actual period. If we map out your cycle, your true period starts on cycle day 1. That's the first day of full, heavy flow, and it continues until that flow ends. Having a little spotting at the very tail end of your period, totally fine. But today, we are tracking down that rogue spotting that happens right in the middle of your cycle.
Section 1. A tour inside your hormone factory. To really get why spotting happens, you need to understand the absolute masterpiece that is your reproductive system. I want you to stop thinking of it as this confusing mystery box and start picturing it as a highly organized, bustling, microscopic factory. And just like any busy factory, communication is everything. Let's take a quick tour. Down in your ovaries, there's this secure vault where all your eggs are kept. Every single month, the brain basically picks up its phone and sends a text message to the ovaries. This text is a hormone called FSH and basically says, hey, get an egg ready. As the egg grows inside its little follicle, it texts back by producing estrogen. That estrogen tells the factory workers to thicken up the uterine lining and signals the brain that the egg is ready to go. Once estrogen gets high enough, the brain sends this massive, urgent text called an LH surge. Release the egg. That right there is ovulation. After that, the empty follicle starts producing progesterone, which guards the lining during what we call the luteal phase. It is a flawless group chat. Well, usually. Section 2, normal spotting. No need to worry. So, the crucial point here is that sometimes our factory workers just get their signals a tiny bit scrambled, or they drop the ball for a split second. But that doesn't mean the whole factory is burning down. A lot of the time, spotting is entirely normal and expected. Take ovulation spotting, for example. Remember that follicle bursting to release the egg? When it ruptures, you get this super quick, temporary dip in your estrogen levels. For just a brief second, the uterine lining gets a bit unstable, and you might see some light pink or brown spotting. Totally normal. On the flip side, about a week later, you might see implantation spotting. That happens if an embryo is settling into the lining. It's super light and very short. But hear me on this. You do not get implantation bleeding every single month. If you are having this, you should be getting a positive pregnancy test. Our hormone factory is incredibly sensitive to the outside world. Did you just get back from a beautiful, but let's be real, exhausting Umrah trip? That massive jet lag can completely scramble your brain's text messages to your ovaries. Did you suddenly start some grueling new HIIT workout? Did you catch a terrible flu? Or are you just under a mountain of stress? All of these things can throw off your hormone production, leading to a completely random month of spotting. And of course, if you're starting a new birth control, especially a progesterone-only IUD, you're definitely going to have some temporary spotting while your body adjusts to the new normal. This actually brings us to one of the biggest panics I hear. You're taking your birth control pill perfectly, and suddenly you spot. Instant panic. Is it failing? Am I unprotected? No. Spotting on the pill doesn't mean it's not working. This is just called breakthrough bleeding. The pill stops you from ovulating. That mechanism is still working perfectly. The spotting just means your endometrial lining has become very thin. It's a known, totally harmless side effect, not a sign of failure. Section 3. Destroying menstrual cycle myths. All right, put your detective hats on because it is time to bust some serious anti-myths. You know the ones that medical advice passed down through generations of well-meaning relatives that has absolutely zero basis in science. It's time we protect our mindset just as fiercely as our physical health. Let's clear the air on a big one. We've all heard this, right? You look down, you see brown spotting, and the immediate thought is, oh, my body is trying to push out bad, dirty, toxic blood. It sounds scary. It makes you feel like something inside you is unclean or broken. But is there literally any medical truth to this whatsoever? Now, what's really interesting here is the pure, simple science of it. Brown blood is not dirty, it is not toxic, it is simply oxidized. That's it. It just means the bleeding was so light and slow that it took a little while to travel down, and on the way, it interacted with oxygen. Honestly, think of an apple slice turning brown when you leave it on the counter. It didn't suddenly become toxic, did it? No, it just touched the air. Your body is completely clean and doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Okay, here's another incredibly common myth. People automatically assume that if they spot right in the exact middle of their cycle, their progesterone must be horribly low and they need all these hormone supplements. Completely false. Mid-cycle spotting, right at ovulation, is almost always due to that quick temporary dip in estrogen we talked about earlier when the follicle bursts. It has absolutely nothing to do with low progesterone, which doesn't even hit its peak until way later in the luteal phase. Section 4. Red flags requiring a doctor. All right, we've had some fun and we've cleared up some common worries. But I need you to lean in and really focus right now. Part of honoring the amana of your body is knowing when to step up and seek professional help. While a random spot here or there is totally fine, there are specific, non-negotiable red flags. If you are ever soaking through pads or tampons every hour, that is a medical emergency, not spotting. If you feel dizzy or weak, go get seen. If you thought you were completely through menopause and you suddenly spot, that is never normal and needs a 100% mandatory doctor's visit. And if you have a positive pregnancy test and you're bleeding, call your doctor. Best case, it could be a harmless subchorionic hematoma, but it could also be the very first sign of an ectopic pregnancy, which can happen long before you feel any actual pain. Please do not ignore these. I'm explicitly highlighting post-intercourse spotting because I know that culturally, shyness and modesty can sometimes make us hesitate to bring this up. But please listen to your older sister here. If you are spotting specifically after intimacy, you cannot let shyness stop you from seeing a doctor. The cervix is very sensitive, yes, but this can also be the leading indicator of cervical dysplasia, which means abnormal precancerous cells. Keep your pap smears up to date, and if this is happening to you, advocate for yourself and get your cervix checked out immediately. Now, if you have recurrent spotting, meaning it happens every single month like clockwork, we need to look for structural or endocrine culprits. We're talking about uterine polyps or fibroids, and here's a massive insider tip for you. A regular, standard ultrasound will actually often miss these completely. You usually have to specifically ask your doctor for a saline sonogram to really see inside the cavity. Spotting could also be from inflammation, like endometritis or endometrial hyperplasia, which is especially critical to watch for if you have PCOS and irregular periods. Finally, if you're entering perimenopause, your ovarian vol is just getting low, and that causes the brain-ovary text chain to kind of stutter. 11. I really want you to burn this number into your memory. 11. This single number holds the key to diagnosing one of the most easily missed, yet highly disruptive causes of recurrent spotting. If you're tracking your cycle, and you notice your luteal phase, that's the time from the exact day you ovulate to the day your period starts, is consistently less than 11 days, you have a luteal phase defect. This means the communication in your factory is completely broken. Your body isn't making a strong enough follicle to produce enough progesterone to hold the lining up. This isn't just some random fluke. It actively points to an underlying endocrine abnormality. It means your doctor needs to immediately check your thyroid levels and your prolactin levels. And this brilliantly illustrates why truly understanding your own body is so empowering. You literally can't fix what you don't track. So here is my challenge to you. Do you actually know how long your luteal phase is? Count it this month. Note the day you ovulate and just count the days until your full flow starts. If it's less than 11 days, or if you're spotting every single month during that exact window, you now have the exact medical vocabulary to take to your doctor. Drop a comment below if you've ever tracked your luteal phase, and honestly ask yourself, what else is your body trying to text you that you just haven't been reading? Keep honoring your health, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next explainer.